we will go to the final reviewer of the book. Yes, is the Maradona of scholarship when it comes to the Muslim Ummah. He, together with other individuals back then, started Ghana Muslim Student Association, which has grown and nurtured a lot of young Muslims into Islamic scholarships. Currently, he's a national patron of the National Jimsa. He's got 4 wives, 17 children. 4 wives, once again, 17 children. As a matter of fact, he said I should repeat that part again. As a matter of fact, he told me I should repeat it 3 times, so I'm going to repeat it the last time. 4 wives, 17 children. "31 books to his credit. And many more counting. We're blessed to have him, and he's aging gracefully. These are the fountain of knowledge. This person is a reference point for all of us as students and as people who are contributing to knowledge, who are seeking knowledge. I'm very happy each time I see him. We're at the Hajj this year with him, and we pray that Allah continue to guide him and strengthen him in good health and posterity. Please, with all humility and respect, let's give it as strongly, hugely to Sheikh Ishaq Nuamah.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, may his peace and blessings be upon the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, his household followers, and all those who follow the path of Allah to the day of judgment. Dr. Aiche, my son Mustafa, and Pastor, I wish Mustafa had had more time, because this time I'm more into listening than talking. Wisdom is not a repository of one person. Wisdom is diverse. That is why in my home, out of the 17, 9 are graduates. And 4 have gone back for their masters. They'll be graduating towards the end of this year, and they'll proceed for their PhDs. I had prayed to the Almighty around the Kaaba some 37 years ago that, oh Allah, help me build a family of knowledge and Islamic work. So I have twins, identical twins, and they look very much like me. They are supporting me do my Dawah work. Very soon, we have got our gadgets in the house, a studio set up. So you'll be seeing me a lot on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Mustafa decided not to be political. I'm also not going to be political. Because every political presentation has the tendency to act as a barrier between you and your listener. The man is talking MPP and I'm a NDC. Therefore, I wouldn't even listen to him. So he'll be in this hall listening, but dead. And I don't want my presentation to go waste. Whatever I'm going to talk about It's from personal experience that I've had with that great man, that great political figure that Muslims have got, and they are misconstruing him. His Excellency Al-Hajj Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Of all, politicians, in general terms, not in specific terms, in general terms, have two diseases: corruption and womanization. I spoke to a few of them. They were ministers some time ago. And I told them that you people suffer from two sicknesses: corruption. You steal state resources to make properties. And then you womanize. The minister who close from work will tell the wife that we have a long board meeting, which will go all the way to 12 midnight. Meanwhile, he's closing at 5 o'clock. And he'll go and pick a girlfriend of his, somebody's daughter, at the age of 21 from Volta Hall, and straight to Lancaster Hotel. Let me tell you, any politicians whose character is like that is living but dead. Napoleon Bonaparte, when he was invading Egypt some centuries ago, he had two ships. One packed with soldiers, and the other one with beautiful prostitutes. So the citizens of France asked Napoleon Bonaparte, as for the soldiers, we know their job, they are going to fight. What about the prostitutes? Then he said, I want to weaken the morale of the Egyptian army. Because if soldiers are going to fight, and you dump beautiful women on them, they engage in illicit sexual relationship with them. Anyone who does that will lose any sense of morality. His subordinates will get to know, and he cannot control them thereafter. I'm happy that I'm going to speak about His Excellency Al-Hajj Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I love him because he has never been corrupt and has never been a womanizer. I love Al-Hajj Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and he has never been corrupt and has never been a womanizer. Even his opponents, they know that this Muslim is a decent character. His Excellency President Kufuor, in 2008, when His Excellency Akufo-Addo chose him as the vice presidential candidate, President Kufuor said, "You are a man of destiny." And recently, he repeated it as a man of destiny. I asked myself, when Alhaji Biggie and Tamim asked me to do a delivery today, I asked myself, do I qualify? When I did the assessment, I realized I do. Because I've been very close to him for the past 3.5 years. In 2020, during the COVID time, I got sick. Taken to 37 Military Hospital on 21st May 2020. And the following day, my brother, Dr. Nabil, who works there, is the lead surgeon, and he took me there. Nabil Nuamah. He came the following day, and I was in coma. For 6 days, I was in coma. The third day, 7 doctors examined me, and they said I was a dead body, and I should be taken to the mortuary. My brother objected to it and said, my brother is not dead yet. To cut a long story short, They asked my brother, but you were part of the team that declared your brother dead. Then he said, no, I'm opting out. They sent my sample to Noguchi and took me to the COVID center at that military hospital. 2 days on, Tuesday, the results came that I was negative. I didn't have COVID. They called my brother. Dr. Nabi Nuamah, your brother is not going to be the first to die and the last to die. Let's send him to the mortuary so that we can concentrate on other people's sicknesses. Then he said he was coming. He went to his office, and Allah was inspiring him. He went to his office and wrote the highest potency of antibiotic injections. When the injections were brought, I wasn't there because I was dead. I was somewhere else. And they started to inject me. In the process of administering the injections, my eyes opened. That was Wednesday, the 5th day. Only the white eye came because the brain was off. But the following morning, my brother, Dr. Nabi Nuamah, came and my fingers were moving. Then he shouted, Allahu Akbar, my brother is coming back. To cut a long story short, when I was brought home, Captain Nasser, who is a Ghanaian but working with an airline in South Africa, notified His Excellency, Elijah Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, if you want to meet a politician who is humane, compassionate, then go for Bawumia. He spoke to His Excellency that our Malam is sick. He's in the house. Then His Excellency sent Dr. Rauf, former chairman of the Pharmacy Council, to bring me money to support me. About 2-3 years ago, Biggie would be the better person to tell me when it was. One of our Malams in Takrady was sick, had kidney failure. Yes. Biggie, what year was that? I think it was 2021. 22. Okay. And then His Excellency was notified. And the cost of transporting the sick person to India for treatment was $40,000. I can attest to that because he was my in-law. So the money was sent by an aircraft to Takrady to send our brother to India. Not only that, I'm talking to you about him from a close range. You know, recently, I spoke about him in Kumasi last week, Sunday.
Yes, which generates a lot.
And it's still going on. The backlash. They are insulting me. They say Sheikh Nuamah has gone to take bribe. Let me tell you, throughout my life, I've never taken bribe. We had a program, Dawah program in Kumasi. A lot of journalists were there. So as the program was going on, one of the journalists came to me and asked, Sheikh Nuamah, but you people, what are you doing to help your brother to become the first Muslim president? Then I got up. I was charged. So I got up and said, 67 years. This is the closest we have come to the presidency. The closest. As Muslims. So if not now, when again? Tamim, capture that portion for me and put on social media. If not now, when again? After my sickness in 2021, I was a bit well, so I started giving Juma. His Excellency came to follow me. I was the Imam at the police mosque. After the Salah, I'm just trying to establish that if I talk about the man that, if not now, when again, then I'm talking from close range. And some people called me. The first 2 days, they were calling me. I said, hey, you people, stop talking. Are you not a Muslim? He said, a Muslim. And a Muslim and a kafir. You are going for a kafir? That is the truth. If not now, when again? So His Excellency invited me home. And I went. He said, Monday is a public holiday. I'll be in the house. So I went. Then we met. We had some discussions about the religion and so on and so forth. Then I told him, my job, because you have been giving monies for people to slaughter cows and the rest, it's not bad. You can do it. But you yourself, what is the relationship between you and your Lord? Because you are looking for something from the Almighty. And He will look at your heart. So my job is to be coming to this house because you are a politician and economist. So there may be some aspects of Islam that you do not know. For example, tahajjud, salatul istikhara, salatul duha, al-adhkar. Some portions of the Quran that he has to read when he goes to any program. So when we finished and I prayed, he said, listen to a good Muslim. He said, Sheikh Nuamah, you have lifted my spirit this morning. Who would talk like that if not a Muslim? A good one for that matter. So we started, and Biggie is a witness. I go to that house, noble house, and I see him. But I've given him an assignment that he should reduce his stomach and I'll give him a wife. So I qualify to talk about him. When you look at the book, you will discover that the following character traits have been mentioned at different places of the book. I use my experience as a student of knowledge to capture them. So for example, humility. And all the character traits I'm going to mention, I call them magnetic characters. When you have them, you draw people to you. So humility. That is why the Christians are rooting for him. They said, he's very, very humble. He is tolerant. You can insult him from morning to evening. He won't reply. Kindness. I've just mentioned one of them. It's a character trait when you have. You draw people to yourself. Hard work. Our doctor, professor, mentioned it. And he's results-oriented. Those who are working at close range with him, they know that the man is results-oriented. Al-Haji Dr. Bawumia is a result-oriented person. And he's a unifier. If you watch the campaigns in all the regions, how many Muslims are in this country? When you look at the audience that follows him, huge. Maybe only 2% are Muslims. The rest are all non-Muslims. Chiefs, pastors, who are not even Muslims, are rooting for him. And you Muslim, what are you doing? How many minutes? Then why did you invite me here? Religiously, listen, religiously oriented. He has built a huge mosque in Kumasi. Who has seen the Kumasi mosque? Go to Bolgatanga. They have mosques there, which has been there for more than 50 years. And he's seriously working on it. He's built one at Walwale, one at Prang, and recently I just want to make a point. Recently, the Sunyani Mosque, there's a house behind it, and they were selling it. 500,000 Ghana cedis. That is 5 billion. He was informed, and he sent the money to buy the place. Only a good Muslim will do these activities. Only a good Muslim will do these activities. In fact, if I want to talk about a man, it will take us hours. I have been given 3 minutes to complete. The chapter that impressed me most, I call it a chapter of motivation. The chapter the doctor calls the journey of possibilities. From Saka Saka, and now heading towards the presidency. So if you are a Muslim and you look at him, then the conclusion is that, he has done it, then I can also do it. That chapter 14, you will discover that when he was chosen as a presidential candidate and he was addressing the audience of party followers, he spoke about unity, expression of gratitude to his creator. He exhibited perseverance. He spoke about that. And then his dictum, that program, his dictum, the language he used, he injected a lot of motivation into us by saying that we can do it. Just like Obama. Chapter 7. I don't know where that English word came from. Digitalization. Initially, I was hearing digitization. Then maybe Biggie will have to educate me. Then I heard digitalization, even though they all mean the same thing. Except that maybe digitalization is more process-oriented. You go through some process and establish it. In fact, when you look at the book and the life of Dr. Bawumia, two things will come up. I think that, to be frank with you, this government has not tapped his knowledge in economics. He's the chairman of the economic management team. Others manipulated the whole situation, messed up, but he's the one who is being blamed. His compassion is unique. Somebody told me, Dr. Bawumia doesn't know how to give small money. When he's giving out, he gives big. It means that he's carrying the kind of heart that his life will touch everybody who is a Ghanaian. His life will touch everybody who is a Ghanaian in this country. His vision on digitalization, the writer himself has spoken about it, but I want to end by saying that Dr. Bawumia is the most enduring Muslim and political personality in our time. I want to thank all of you, but I've proposed to the writer that he should try and interview other people who know Dr. Bawumia and incorporate those interviews into the book. Then number 2, he has never met His Excellency physically before. That shows sincerity, So I have asked him to arrange a meeting with His Excellency, then interview him one-on-one, and then incorporate those interviews into the next edition of the book. Thank you very much. My appeal to you, as I said, if not now, when again? That should be the mantra. Thank you very much. So you are going to be ambassadors of that mantra. If not now, when again? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Please, once again, put your hands together. Put your hands together. What a wonderful speech. Please, with all humility, this is a piece put together by a professor. It's a research-based, individualistic approach towards the understanding of the man in question, and he's been able to put it in the form of book. And that is what we need to do. Before we make a pronouncement or a judgment, we must research and understand the character involved. Who is that person, not what you've been told. Find out for yourself. And if you find out, of course, you're going to know the truth. And he's known the truth. That's why he's telling us.
شكرا لك ربي حمدا لك ربي أحييت روحي وأنرت
Hafiz TV, unique every day.